Gold prices seeing a little bit of a shift in the October trend, which has been for lower prices. We have seen a bit of a bounce, just recently getting down close to 1460, then bouncing and back up to 1500, then back down to 1480, and now we're back up close to 1500. We're not quite there yet, but that's going to act as a magnet here as the technical picture becomes very clear. I think any sort of breakout to the upside will be met with a lot of resistance, but if we do push through the low 1500 handle area, that's going to really propel gold prices higher on a technical basis. If we go back to the downside, the trend's already pretty clearly set. So I think at this point right now, you have to watch your upside, look for resistance near the 1500 mark. But if you do push through it on any data, news, headlines, whatever you want to call it, I think that there's some definite upside for a sort of a vacuum move higher in gold. Still, there's a lot of reasons to own insurance. There's still a lot of reasons why gold could go higher, whether it's the Fed, the dollar, the economy, you name it. So I think there's a lot of risk there if you're a seller up near the 15 or just above the 1500 level. And if you look at the dollar, it's been certainly helping keep gold prices from moving lower. We've seen the dollar in the month of October move down. The dollar index is down about 1.5%. It continues to trade very heavily, not only because of the weak data that we've been seeing. Today we saw retail sales a little weaker than expected, but also the political issues that we continue to see revolve around Washington. Likewise, a Fed that is unclear of its path ahead of itself is not something that is very positive for the dollar. So at this point, the dollar will continue to support gold prices, at least in the short term, until there's any clarity down the road. And I think that clarity comes at the end of October, but we have a lot of days between then and now. So look for a bouncy, volatile trade as the dollar continues to push gold prices higher as it declines. Lastly, let's look at the positioning trade. Spec longs got out real big towards the end of September, early first week of October, but then got back in little by little ahead of last week's decline. So it looks like maybe this push to the lows last week was likely those speculators who maybe dipped their toe back in a little too soon. At this point, I think a trade above 1500 gets those speculators jumping on with both feet to get long again, but I don't think there's any rush to do so. I think let's wait and see if the market can pop north of 1500. If not, you'll probably see speculators looking to maybe get in on a down move. I don't necessarily see us flipping to the speculator longs to speculator shorts, given all the uncertainties, given what's happening with the Fed, given all the news at the end of the month, which could have huge ramifications on global markets, whether it be the Fed, whether it be Brexit, whether it be the ECB. And so there are a lot of issues roaming around out there, which will watch gold buyers kind of sneak in there. So look for 1500 to be a magnet price. A move, just slightly above it, I think, could propel prices much higher. Otherwise, the trend lower might continue. But I'm looking for prices to hover at 1500, possibly higher in the short term as we near Brexit, the Fed, and ECB at the end of the month.